Hey everybody, welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovable, lovely, and phoneless co-host Sarah Levine.
Hello. I do have a phone. I am borrowing someone's backup phone. Thank goodness.
Wow, how wealthy are you to have a backup phone, this person? They are balling out.
I don't know if they're wealthy or they're just like responsible with their phones. And it kills me because I would have had a backup phone too. Like I was going to trade in my phone probably next month. Yeah. And then the choice was made for me when I dropped my phone on the floor.
Wow. Well, good on you for keeping your phone that long. You know, me, I'm on the 2 year. It was
5 years, pretty much.
Whew, what a run.
4 or
I never
5
had
years.
nothing that long. I never, nothing. I go through a computer in a year.
Wow, really?
Wow. I don't know if that's true.
That can't be true.
I'm a hoarder. I'm an electronics hoarder. I'm bad about it. I have all kinds of bullshit that I shouldn't have bought.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God. It's horrific. I mean, I've got cameras and just little gadgets, things that do things,
nice.
redundant versions of it. It's hoarding. It's no good. Call the Hoarder Show. Do they clean your house for free? If you're on that, I'll do it.
I think it's free. I don't think you'd qualify.
It's free. I know. My room is really the opposite of feng shui. I put my desk in a way because I like to have it set up because I shoot green screen stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to have to get up to shoot, so I can just sit in my chair and shoot. The problem is this made my room's layout complete nonsense.
I feel like mine is like that too.
My desk is T-boning my side wall, so like my room is in this weird Tetris nightmare.
Yeah.
Like when you're losing at Tetris is my room.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a New York thing because it's Tetris, but you have like one move, and that's the move that I'm playing basically. Like I really wanted to have a clear wall behind my makeshift desk so that I could like film videos and stuff. So I tried moving my dresser into my closet, and basically I did this whole rearranging thing where I moved one shelf out of my closet, moved my dresser into the closet, and then I just had to move everything back because it didn't really fit, and it just made my life more difficult. So
wow. Well, you tried.
Yeah, New York rooms are just like weirdly shaped. Like mine is big, but it's long and just more narrow.
Yeah, your room is so long. Oh my God, your room is like a cave.
Right, it's like a tunnel.
It's a cave long. It's a tunnel. Well, guys, we got some good reviews. I'm very excited. I am frequently panned in the reviews, attacked in the reviews. Validly, of course, but I thought this review really, I think this review made me tear up here. Stick around. It's worth it. Love this pod. Sarah and Danny discuss the situations at length and read notable comments, which really makes you think about the sitches from a number of angles. When they miss something, they take comments well and discuss further, which I really appreciate. Danny gets a lot of criticism. It's mostly well-deserved, okay. But he receives it very well and has made a lot of changes since the beginning of the pod. I'm so glad I stuck around and am now even a patron, excuse me. The community being built over there is really cool to be a part of, and Danny's willingness to be vulnerable is refreshing and makes him more relatable. All in all, I definitely think you've earned my 5-star rating.
All right.
Hard earned, but we pulled it off.
We did it. They said it couldn't be done.
They said it couldn't be done, but we pulled it off. We also got this lovely email. This is incredible, people.
Oh, my God. So good.
AITA for binging your podcast nonstop.
Never.
What's the situation? My podcatcher doesn't seem to have a place to review or rate, so I figured I'd send mine in the submish form. Love submish. TLDR, I love you both so much. How could it be TLDR, OP? We're like one sentence in. Wow. That's great because there's too many long-winded OPs. This OP is like, we got you. I love you both so much. You're my best friends in my head. I started listening after Sarah's endorsement on NATC Pod. Ooh. Sarah, thank you.
Oh, yeah. We love a cross promo.
Love a cross promo. And quickly realized I found a new fave show. 2 Zoom happy hours and 1 global pandemic later. I joined the Patreon for some extra content. It didn't disappoint. I binged at least half the boasted bonus eps during a multi-day staycation. I think I'm a better person for it.
All right.
Keep up the good work, and I truly hope merch is available sometime soon. Heart, YTH, Bianca.
Oh, yay. Love you.
P.S. I made so many dang cookies after all that cookie talk. Bianca, you're
Yes.
incredible. Welcome to the Patreon. You're a Judge Judy
A
now.
gem.
I got to get my ass. Guys, can somebody throw in the submission a sticker company you like? Because I never know what to do, and then I get overwhelmed. And
my friend's done it with Redbubble, but I think you have to like design it yourself.
I could do Redbubble. We'll do Redbubble. Whatever. Throw in a submission if you happen to know. We got another review, short and sweet. Love Sarah and Danny's analysis of AITA sitches. They explore a variety of angles and are open to changing their perspectives. Great food for thought.
All right.
Wow. Thank you guys for reviewing. Please do rate, review, subscribe. Please join us on Patreon. There's so much going on Patreon now.
Please do.
It's incredible. We got the WhatsApp. We got the cappuccino. It's like this ongoing podcast. I'm a little bit behind. I'm going to catch up. Be cool, everybody. I've been busy working the crypto game, folks. And what else we got, Sarah? We got bonus apps and patreon.com/AITA pod. Without further ado, let's play some Guess the Word, baby.
Let's do it.
AITA. For asking my friend to leave my house after being rude to me.
I like hate you for this because I'm like, this is such a no-brainer. But I'm just going to go, oh, but is that the trick? Like, did you pull from your usual ESH town, or is this a no-brainer? I'm just going to go
yes.
NTA.
NTA is wrong.
God damn it.
So OP apparently has autism. They say their tone is harsh, can come across harsh. OP's friend is making food, and OP, I guess, kind of comes at them and is like, oh, you can't microwave the plastic on that one.
Okay.
And then they're like, why? And then OP answers. Apparently, it's different kinds of plastic. And then the person just is like, okay, stop. And like gets frustrated during the interruption, scolding OP. Gets frustrated, says, oh, whatever. I'm just thick as shit, aren't I?
Oof.
OP then microwaves the food, because this girl was struggling apparently. Microwaves the food, brings the food out, and just says, is it okay if you leave?
Dang.
And then they're like, yes. And then OP's like, because you hurt me with what you said. And then this person just pieced.
Dang.
Top comment, Lil Floofy writes, I'll go with a slight ESH. Sometimes it's better to cut the cord if the other person can't understand your difficulties to communicate with people, but you should also ask yourself if there's new ways for you to not have that kind of issue in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can get on board.
I mean, this seems like this person kind of flew off, but it's so hard. It's like tone is a big thing. I can see how someone would be like, you're literally explaining microwave plastic to me, and that being obnoxious.
Right.
So it's hard to know.
Yeah. All right. AITA for insulting my boyfriend's weight in front of his friends.
I'm going to go obvious. YTA.
You, would think. Honestly, in a weird twist where, like, I feel like I could have written the first half of this submission myself. So basically, we have the boyfriend. He's 6 feet and 229 pounds. OP's 5'6" and 120. So she's like small. The boyfriend will make comments to her, like whenever she's making a smoothie, he'll say, oh, you shouldn't drink those things, they're full of hidden calories. Or if she's doing strength training, he goes, you'll just gain weight because you'll put on too much muscle. Okay, this is obnoxious. So the story time is that OP, her boyfriend, and some friends were at the beer garden. The boyfriend said that, oh, he was on Tinder before meeting the OP, but he deleted it because, quote, there were too many desperate fat chicks. OP blurted out, seriously, you're going to criticize fat chicks? And then the boyfriend's mad and not speaking to her now. The top comment from Essex Catwoman said,
oh, okay.
I love it. I was so ready with the alternative judgment, but NTA. Maybe you could have phrased it differently, but I'm not surprised you were gobsmacked at the audacity and double standard.
I don't understand. What is the double standard? I thought it seems like he has the same
overweight.
standard. Oh, he's
like
overweight. I thought he
pretty overweight.
I thought he was 6 foot 2 hundo.
229. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I guess this is a what's it called? A debate on like if you think BMI is an accurate representation of being overweight, which is definitely a whole scenario, but like, yeah, that's overweight.
Right. I guess I heard 6 foot.
Oh, and then you
I
just glazed off. Yeah, yeah.
I just glazed off. I was like, oh, he's a basketball player.
No.
I'm an idiot. Okay, so he's being, it's like, he's being a jerk, basically. Yeah, I'm on board. Nothing complicated there. All right. AITA for leaving my friend's GF stranded in another city.
I feel like I read this one, but I feel like it involved some like outrageous demands. So I'm going to still stay NTA.
NTA is exactly right.
Ooh.
And that is exactly, wow, you've really read the subreddit. I feel like I scrolled quite a bit. You need to scroll farther, people.
That's what I do every night before bed.
AITA. So what happened? What happened here? So it was a 3-hour trip, first of all. So you guys got to understand, OP had big plans. He had big plans this weekend. What was he going to do? Read a book.
Love it.
His friend is begging. I know. I love someone who's like, what are you doing this? I'm reading a book. Wow, how admirable.
Love
Imagine. His friend is like, listen, bro, can you please go to my girlfriend because she hates driving and she's scared of driving, but she has a car. I didn't really understand.
Huh?
I think he like took a train. I think he took a train to meet her and then was going to drive her and her car back.
Jesus, why didn't the boyfriend do that?
Because he was somewhere. He was out of town.
So why is she coming?
Because he needs to get the girlfriend to where she's going. I don't know, Sarah.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Okay, it's already too convoluted for me.
It's very convoluted, but whatever.
Okay.
He needed the favor. So the guy goes right off the bat, complaining the whole time, saying he's going too slow because she has an appointment. What?
Rude.
Who does that?
Yeah, that's super rude.
They have to park to do her errands, I guess. She asked him to pay. Then she insisted. He's like, okay, I want to read my book. That's all OP wants to do is read his book. Let him read the book. No, she feels unsafe in the city and wants him to walk around with her while she's doing errands.
What the fuck?
He is then
what
like, hey,
city
can
are
we drop...
you in that you're not going to feel safe doing errands in broad daylight?
I know, right? It seemed ridiculous.
All right.
Then she got mad at him because he wanted to drop the bags off at the car because he was sick of carrying them. And she was like, well, normally my boyfriend does carry them and it's faster.
Oh my God. What a monster.
All this shit goes down, and this is where shit really made my blood boil. She then demands that he pay for half of the gas.
In what world?
He's like, I'm literally doing you a favor. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. She's like, you have to, or you can't drive back. And he's just like, no, I'm totally leaving. And so he took a train home.
Wow. What a monster.
Right? Who is this girl?
God.
Candy 2228 writes, NTA, you didn't leave her stranded. She had a car. She doesn't get to treat you like you're her personal assistant. You were doing her a favor, and she was ungrateful from the start.
Yeah, what's this about? So it's her car to begin with. She just won't drive it.
I guess she's like intimidated by driving through the city or something.
I get that, but if push came to shove, I would just do it.
Right.
Woof. Okay. AITA for trying to debate rather than listen to my partner's concerns about my health.
Trying to debate rather than listen. Oh, man, this has ESH written all over it. You're probably going to trick me, but let's do this. ESH.
You would think you're not that far off. So the deal is that OP was super into climbing, and recently, or not recently, OP was super into climbing. OP went on a hike or like a hiking, climbing trip and collapsed on the way down. Ended up going to the hospital. Everything was eventually okay. And that was 5 years ago. OP hasn't gone. Recently, OP mentioned to her partner that she wants to get back into it. And the partner kind of freaked out and said that if OP had another health scare, she might not be so lucky. And he never liked the idea of her climbing and doesn't want her to go out again in case she collapses, which seems fair. OP argues she hasn't had health issues since that one accident and basically tried to convince the partner it would be fine. And then, the boyfriend is kind of just like, all right, whatever you say. And OP's friends said that OP was the asshole for arguing and dismissing him rather than listening to his concerns.
We might have to do this one. I've got a lot.
Yeah, I have
popping
thoughts,
into my
honestly.
head. I've got a lot of thoughts. I mean, my first thought is just like, look, I get it. I mean, do they have kids? Is there any kids involved?
No, I think it's just like a boyfriend situation.
There's no kids. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit if you die?
Well, it's what I want to do. That's my thing. If that's their thing, that's their thing. And the climbers are crazy. The climbers they're kooks. They live for it. They live for the rush. They live for the summit. You know, they like to do the Everest and the K2 and all that shit, and they don't care. You know, it's obviously very dangerous.
So then what?
So then that's it. You're dating a climber. So you dating a climber or not? They know it's dangerous. You think they don't know? It's like telling someone to stop smoking. It's like they know. They know. No one doesn't know. You're on a giant mountain. Of course it's dangerous.
Interesting. Well, I've thought so. I feel like we should discuss it. But the top comment so far was no assholes here. My husband climbs, so I very much get your partner's anxiety. And it sounds like it was coming from a place of true concern. Climbing alone can be very dangerous. However, I think as long as you're not concerned about your health and are feeling okay, it could be a great hobby to get back into. I think his concern is valid, but he didn't need to be argumentative about it since it accomplished nothing.
Very fair. Very fair.
All right.
I think you won again. I zeroed out.
It was a close one.
Damn, I'm on a long. You don't need to lie. Don't patronize me. It wasn't close.
It's
you
1 to
blew me
9.
out. Yeah, I know, but you've been winning a lot.
Oh.
I've won for a while.
Well, just gonna have to try harder.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. You can submit at aitapod.com, AITApod.com. Our second story of the day, AITA for uninviting mother-in-law's fiance to my wedding after he threatened to pour wine on me. Interesting. Very interesting. But first, people, AITA for leaving my stepmother out of a Mother's Day tradition and telling her to get over herself when she confessed to feeling hurt. The history.
I love that. Let's start it all. The history. No, what's another synonym? Like the saga.
The saga. Yes. The Emma, the asshole submish of a lifetime.
I mean, isn't every story just history?
Yes, people always say, here's some background information. It's all background.
Right, it's all,
we don't know you.
None of this is happening in real time, I suppose.
yeah, that would be, I don't think
that would be awesome.
Technology.
Someone should do that, like a live blog, AITA.
Yeah, seriously. Live tweet it. All right, anyway, here we go. Let's get into this thing. The history. I, 29F, lost my mom in an accident when I was 7. My dad met my stepmother a year later. I met her about 6 months before I got married.
Oh, that's a typo. I think it's before they got married. My bad.
Okay. I think I was like 9.
Yeah, I don't think 10. OP was a child bride.
That would be very sick. I was 10 when they got married, just for clarity. Okay, yeah, because things couldn't be more unclear, OP, so thank you. This is the worst history I've ever read. We have an okay relationship. She never pushed to be mom, but I always got the sense she was hurt. I didn't see her as a maternal figure. We just did something like this.
We really did, but I promise this is different.
I consider her more like an aunt. I'm not super close to any of my aunts and uncles, so it's not the same closeness I have with my dad or I had with my mom. When I was preggo with my son 6 years ago, I came up with this idea to make a little children's book for my future children about my mom. Sort of to keep her mentioned, but making it something we could take out and read, look at. So I made up a story about a brave mother who helped and was there for her daughter, even in death, and how much she loved and looked out for her and later the grandchildren. I guess you could think of it as like a guardian angel, just without the angel. I'm not religious, not even really sure what I do believe in, but a lot of it was stuff I felt throughout my life, like when I could swear I could feel my mom's presence with me as I graduated or had a bad breakup, when I got married and had my kids, just these feelings, I guess. My son loves the story. My daughter is still a little too young, but I read it to her too. Every Mother's Day since my son was born, I take it out and read it to my kids, and we have it in a special place. Wow. OP went from a rough start to I'm kind of tearing up a little.
Yeah, wow.
That was beautiful. This year, my dad and stepmother decided to stop by for Mother's Day, and my son was telling her about the book, and he showed it to her, and she got all quiet. A while later, she pulled me aside and told me she felt like she was being left out. Like how it would have been nice to say that the mom sets another lady, mom figure, grandma figure to be there too.
Oh.
This is so funny. This is very funny. To offer what she could and make everyone happier, and how it hurt her feelings that she's not included in the only Mother's Day tradition I have with my kids, that she wished she could be something more, something that I wanted to celebrate on that day. I told her to get over herself, that she gets to be present and my mom doesn't, and that being looked at as more of an aunt-like figure is still more than some people ever get.
Damn.
She told me she was just trying to have a conversation, and I was acting like a dick who couldn't respect others' feelings or even try to empathize with her. She told me I should have tried to make her feel more included instead of feeling more shut out. AITA.
Oh, boy. This book is really sweet.
The book is so sweet. So sweet. I mean, this is interesting because, you know, it's so cool that we just did this because it's like such a pattern, you know, and we get so little about the stepmother. You know, we don't really know anything of kind of what
it doesn't sound like
here.
Like the other woman, I feel like in the one we just did, the adopting lady, she seemed pushy. And so we didn't like that. But this woman doesn't really seem like she's done anything wrong. I can sort of try to empathize, or like I can at least sympathize with her. I mean, I feel like it sucks to basically raise a child and never really get that recognition that, you know, you might be looking for. Obviously OP is, you know, has her own feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of overlap here, you know. I mean, I think that I can't imagine. I honestly can't imagine. Obviously, it's tempting to be like, oh, get therapy. That's why OP is so closed off to this woman. But, you know, I think losing your mom at age 7, or I think in the other situation it was age 6, I really can't imagine anything more brutal. Like, it's so, you know, it's your mom. That's your mom. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know if therapy can deal with that. I don't know. That seems.
I mean, I don't think it can fix anything, but like, yeah, I feel like it can help cope.
Yeah, cope. But I guess I see a closed offness. You know, we don't have anything to go with on this aunt.
I guess it just depends if this person wants to change that closed offness, and it doesn't seem like they do. And if it's not causing them any distress, I suppose that's fine. Like, you can live that way. I guess I feel like it's more maybe beneficial to be more granular about the situation, because I get what the stepmom was feeling, and I understand why she's hurt, and I can get with that. I don't know if I feel like that day was the appropriate time. And I don't know that being included in the tradition was really the point to focus on. To me, it's more that this is emblematic of the fact that this person has never viewed her in a motherly role. And it's like, she kind of wants answers of why that is.
The stepmother wants answers of why OP doesn't view her that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you're, I don't know if I understand you exactly. You're saying OP, you're saying that the stepmother shouldn't have gone into this shit on this here day?
I mean, I don't think in the moment you needed to bring it up, because I think it could have been just brought up later, like not on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not about the book, really. Like, I don't think. It's not about the book.
Well, I think, look, we got to be honest here. This is not a child. OP's 29 years old. So, you know, doesn't she kind of need to be a little aware of the fact, look, if she's closed off and she doesn't want this aunt to be a mom to her, that's her right. and that's apparently how it's gone down. But that said, doesn't she need to have some awareness at this point? She's got kids of her own at this point that, you know, yeah, like maybe she doesn't want that, but it's still it's kind of raw for auntie over here, for the stepmother.
That's what I'm saying, where it's like, it's a pain point.
It's a pain point. So do we need to go into the book? I think you're onto something there. No, maybe let's just not do the book.
It's not about not being in the book. It's like, oh, what are you giving her, edits? I mean, yeah, that would have been nice for her to include, but honestly, like, I could understand not even thinking to go there with your little project, but it's not about not being in the book. It's about the fact that, like, she's never seen her as anything more than an aunt, when presumably this woman has lived with you since you were, like, 10.
Yeah, but I'm just saying maybe then the sin is the book. Not the omission from the book, but just in the bringing the book up,
you mean
bringing the mother up. Yes, going into all this.
Yeah, it's like it seems a little bit rigid and like to the point that it's insensitive, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can get with that for sure. And
Kirsten
I think telling her to get over herself is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's pretty unfair.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the stepmom was just trying to have a conversation. I don't really think it was the right time.
No, it wasn't. They were both had a timing error, if you ask me.
Yeah, but like, I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing that she wished that OP viewed her in more of a motherly role. But yeah, wrong time.
Kirsten J. writes, was leaning towards no asshole here because you're both entitled to your feelings and step-parent relationships can be hard. NTA for not including their book, but YTA because of your response to her and from your own narrative. It sounds like you've been an antagonist asshole toward her for your entire relationship.
I mean, to say like, oh, you're lucky that I view you as this like acquaintance essentially, like, is pretty harsh.
It's pretty brutal, but yeah, I mean, obviously the roots of this are unprocessed grief and tremendous grief. And, you know, I don't look, it's kind of like you're not my mom and you just aren't,
right?
Because you're not her. That's why. And so I don't know. I can't even empathize with this. Obviously, I can imagine how horrible it would be. But I really have no fucking clue, and I would not really, it's very difficult for me to be upset with OP for not embracing this woman. I view it as a part of the fact that she was a victim, and she's also a victim that she couldn't bond. I think that is that's an indicator to me rather than a mark against her, if that makes any sense.
Kind of.
In other words, the fact that she couldn't bond just speaks to the fact of how harmful it was for her to lose her mother, assuming the best about the stepmother, right? Like, she effectively did not have a maternal bond because that grief was not healed.
Makes sense to me. I mean, this is all taking the most, like, generous assumption of what the stepmom is like. Because, like, OP's not really giving us any reasons otherwise.
Yeah, OP said nothing bad except this one situation, so... We gave her the B of the D. Bell W, you're entitled to your feelings. Nothing wrong with that. Completely understand how the woman that raised feels. I can see why she's hurt. She's entitled to those feelings too, and you were pretty harsh. She was harsh. There's no way around that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because, like, they're both adults, so, yeah, it's just hard to figure it out.
Nico asks YTA for giving more respect to long dead people than the ones who have and continue to try and support you. Right?
Harsh. Talk about harsh.
Regardless of you being an asshole for 2 decades, grow the F up, stop living in the past, and maybe stop being such an asshole with some therapy. Brutal.
Can't co-sign that, I don't think.
No, I mean, in a sense, I just think it's such a harsh way to put it. It's like, God, I can't, like I said, what's worse than this?
Yeah.
Oceana W, I want to say NTA for having your own traditions with your babies, but definitely the asshole for how you responded to the woman who stepped up for you.
It's a tough situation.
I honestly think my charges against OP are just that she was mean. I think she crossed into mean, immediately jumping for the get over yourself. I understand why this person was hurt. We got really nothing against her besides the fact that she wanted to have a conversation. It was just, you know, a couple people at a house. It doesn't strike me as like wildly inappropriate.
No, it's not wildly inappropriate. I just don't think it was like the opportune time.
No, it wasn't super appropriate, but
no.
Wow, we got a lot of YTAs here.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can do that. Scotty A, YTA, and you should probably seek professional help. I'm not being mean or funny. It's sad that you lost your bio mom, and nobody could tell you how or how long to grieve, but therapy might help you face reality and realize how your stepmother impacted your life. Renika M, you didn't have to be so mean, but Mother's Day definitely wasn't the time or place for her to bring up her feelings about being left out of a book that doesn't have anything to do with her.
It's kind of how I feel.
It doesn't have nothing to do with her.
Well, to me it does. To me it's a little irrelevant because this is her sort of processing her grief and like trying to explain that to her kids because obviously it's a big part of her. And you know, I don't really get like, I don't know, I can't come for her for not thinking to be like, oh, yes, and then this other lady came along and blah, blah, blah. Like, these are...
But, Sarah, I mean,
it's woman... we know for a fact that OP's never viewed this woman as a second mom. So, I mean, no, like, why would she do that?
Well, what I'm trying to say, though, how can... I think it's totally... Her feelings are 1,000,000% valid. I mean, just look at OP's life. From 0 to 7, then mother dies at 7. Then, 2 years later... stepmom enters the picture. So basically, this stepmom has been there half the time of a mother. I mean, to think this would just that she didn't even make an appearance in the book. I mean,
to me, the book is like about grief and almost explaining death, and I don't think you need to address the new person in it in just the book in a vacuum. And, like, that part doesn't really bother me.
But, Sarah, think about this, that she says she could feel her mother's presence with me as I graduated or had a bad breakup. How is stepmom going to read that and be like, what about me? Like, what was I kind of your mom?
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, you know? It's not really, like, that's what, these are, like, two separate issues to me because, like, I don't blame OP for not including her stepmom in this book because she's never seen her stepmom as a mom. But her exclusion from the book just underscores that point.
Yes, that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, obviously. I feel like I mentioned that in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame stepmom at all for being hurt. I think it is about her.
No, I don't blame her for being hurt, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like OP should have done anything differently with the book in a vacuum.
Well, yeah, OP didn't want to, but yeah, no, I don't think she should have to change it or anything. I just think, like... the omission of the stepmother from the book kind of speaks the whole story.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I said in the beginning.
Okay. I don't know where we got off track.
It's not about the book in a vacuum. It's about, like, what the book represents. And it's, like, clear that she does not view her as a mother figure.
Right.
Especially because this is happening on Mother's Day, and OP thinks it's, like, tactful to be like, yes, I'm going to read a book about my mother who's passed away in front of the mother figure who I've never really acknowledged or given credit to, and that's going to go over fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was obtuse. I mean, I feel like on the titular, AITA for leaving my stepmother out of a Mother's Day tradition and telling her to get over herself when she confessed to feeling hurt. Well, no.
I mean, like, damn, at least warn the lady that this is the tradition. Like, I'm all for a tradition and the kids like it, but my God, don't blindside the woman.
Yeah. I'm ready to say YTA on it.
Oh my gosh.
Is that crazy?
I don't know.
I think it was really obtuse. Yeah. Soft YTA. I mean, look, obviously all this is born out of a horrific trauma that who am I to say is even honestly something anyone could recover from. I mean, I'm sure some people have, but it's just leaves a hole in your heart.
Right.
Soft, super soft YTA. We're meeting on that?
Yes.
All right. We're going to play a little round of assholes in the break room.
I feel like we did
this
in the happy hour last night, and I didn't do that on purpose.
No, we didn't do. We did assholes at the office.
Oh, yeah. So there's some crossover, but we'll go with the obvious, the person who microwaves fish.
Oh, disgusting. Oh, it smells like hell in here.
Gross.
The guy who uses the fridge, he uses a lot of the fridge. It's like, do you really need to keep a 12-pack of Bud Light here, 8 salami sticks,
That's my energy
3
Bud
loaves
Light.
of bread? Do you not have a fridge at your house? What's going on, sir?
I don't. What about the person who just eats more than their fair share of the office snacks?
Oh, that's me. That was so me, especially when I worked.
Danny leaves
with
one
you.
chip in the bag and is like, this is fine.
Yeah, it's the person who sees the really expensive coconut water that's like $5 a bottle, and I would never spend my own money on it, but I'm allowed to take one in the fridge. You better believe I'm taking that shit as soon as it comes in.
Oh, yeah.
So good. The guy who just saw a movie and is just like, hey, have you seen, It's Raining Outside too? And you're like, no, I haven't. Oh, can I tell you the whole thing? Can I tell you the entire movie? No, just let me tell you. You know what I mean? They just want to go on and on. I'll see it. Relax.
The guy who lets their stuff go bad in the fridge.
It's disgusting. Are you growing? Are you growing a little fungal farm in there?
Ew.
Awful. The guy who eats somebody else's food. Oh, it's fine.
Oh,
I'll just
that's
take
the
one grape.
worst.
I'll just take one grape. They'll never know. They'll know. They can sense. There's a
Oh,
weight
yeah.
difference. It's there.
We counted
feel
the
it.
grapes.
We counted.
We counted. What about the person hogging the water cooler, filling up their 3-gallon water bottle?
Is that a Camelback? Are you
Right?
filling up a Camelback right now? We're white-collar workers.
Are you
You're the
actually
direct-
just filling up the water cooler into your own personal cooler?
They have like a backpack. No, I'm not taking this home. The guy who's like, the one like politically deviant person in the office and is like kind of whispering to you their little spicy takes, and you're like, okay, yeah, I don't want to talk about this with you. No, but like, I'm telling you, it was an inside job. Okay.
I feel like this has never happened. The person who finishes the coffee and then doesn't start a new pot.
Oh my God. Wait, did you deny mine? You said mine isn't real?
You just have people whispering their political opinions.
They're like, you never had a coworker that would like be like, don't tell anyone this, but something, here's a hot, crazy.
No.
That's because you never worked in the financial district off an ad you found on Craigslist, Sarah. You've had like a
That's-
series of real jobs.
That's true. That is true.
So anyway, that was assholes in the break room. AITA for uninviting mother-in-law's fiance to my wedding after he threatened to pour wine on me.
Oh boy.
For some background, we aren't very close to mother-in-law or her fiance. She feels we took father-in-law's side in the divorce, and she has always kept her distance. Okay. The other day, we were at my fiance's grandparents' house. God, all these freaking family names hurt my head. Fiance's grandparents' house. Mother-in-law sister made a joke that mother-in-law should be one of those mother-in-laws and wear white. Mother-in-law just laughed. It doesn't really seem like something she would do, but I added that my bridesmaids would soak her in wine if she did. Oh,
Okay.
boy. Mother-in-law's fiance said that would be hilarious because he would destroy my wedding gown. I asked what he meant, and he said he would empty a bottle on me if any of my stupid friends did anything to her.
The hell?
Yikes, this family.
Yikes, indeed.
Mother-in-law tried to move the conversation along, but I have anxiety about stuff like that, and it was bothering me. I said he can't come to the wedding because I can't trust him. Oh, my God. Mother-in-law called me this morning and wanted to confirm if I was serious. I said I was. Not the first incident. He has been rude in the past. Mother-in-law started crying and said she isn't going to be around her ex-husband without him. I said that was pretty vain, but her choice.
Oh.
Now mother-in-law isn't coming, which we don't care too much, but her whole side of the family is furious. Her dad might not come now, which will bother my fiance.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no kidding, you're not close.
This is cringe. This is one of
no
the
kidding, you took father-in-law's side.
This is absolute cringe. This is I have never disliked an OP more, I don't think.
Yeah. Like, anxiety is real, but being like, oh, I have anxiety about hypothetical problems that I started, so you're not invited to the wedding. Like,
how? Yeah. Well, how unaware is she? She literally threatened to pour wine on mother-in-law. It was a joke. Yeah,
literally.
I thought his joke was shitty. It was too aggressive, right? Because she made a joke being
weirdly aggressive.
Weirdly aggressive. She's like, haha, what if I did a shitty thing? And she's like, haha, here's a shitty thing we do back. And it was clearly a joke and nobody took it seriously. But then he comes in and is like, I will eliminate your friends from the face of Earth.
Yes, like, but I also kind of feel like OP did that from the beginning to an extent as well, because it's just like, okay, the sister is making a joke like, haha, you should wear white. The mother-in-law laughs it off. OP acknowledges that it doesn't seem like something she would do, but nonetheless, she feels that she has to set the record straight. Not by saying, like, you wouldn't do that, but by being like, I'm going to soak you in wine, which is also aggressive. Like, I feel like if I were to make a joke, I would say, like, oh, well, don't be surprised if some wine spills on you. But, like, I'm going to soak you in wine.
It's a great image.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very aggressive imagery.
It's powerful, visceral. It's filmmaking. But it is aggressive. You're right. No, I think you actually just nailed that. She was too aggressive. It was a little hostile, especially if they're not close. That's a little hostile. Right. Like, hey, we're going to physically do this thing to you. And then he comes back, which is honestly pretty much at the same level. He says he would destroy her wedding gown.
He took it up a notch, but like on the level.
I don't know. He said, I asked what he meant, and he said he would empty a bottle on me. So I think that's actually... If any of my
stupid friends did anything.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Which also, like, why would you do that, sir? It's like...
Yeah. And then the mother-in-law tries to change the subject, and OP is like... Yeah, I don't know. I have anxiety about stuff like that. You mean about fights that you started out of nowhere?
Yeah,
like totally. That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna flag anxiety. I'm calling this one, people. I am seeing anxiety being the new kind of, oh, I have anxiety. I have anxiety.
I mean, anxiety is an emotion, and it is normal to feel like anxiety about your wedding, but it doesn't, and even anxiety about like some kind of fight or conflict at your wedding, but that doesn't mean that you have an anxiety disorder.
I don't even know. What is there an anxiety to, I guess I know like, people
you can just feel anxious about something, just like as an emotion.
A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease. Yeah, that's just part of life.
Exactly, exactly. To say that you have anxiety about this is like, yeah, well, I don't know. I have anxiety about like getting hit by a bus, but that doesn't mean that I have a disorder.
You are supposed to have anxiety about getting hit by buses because having anxiety for that is a great way to prevent you from being demolished by a bus.
Right. It's not like a trump card to just act like a dick to people. Also, exactly. I think most of us would have anxiety about like having our wedding ruined by getting wine spilled on our dress. Like, this is not the excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's just being used like this kind of catch-all term. And I'm not saying I know someone is already, well, Danny, I have severe anxiety and da-da-da. I get it.
But
I'm
I
not
think
talking to you.
that a person who does have severe anxiety just like wouldn't phrase it this way.
I've noticed it. I swear I've noticed this I have anxiety being a thing. And it's like, yeah, we all have anxiety. It is normal to worry and be afraid of things and, and anticipate a big upcoming event.
Right. People have anxieties about things.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I have anxiety. Yes, I am also human. We are humans together here.
Here we go.
All right, let's see. Oh, what's this? Oh, this comment is like bullet points. These are long. Not a happy bunny. 1, 2, 3. ESH. This could have all been avoided if you just said, "Mother-in-law is a classy lady. She'd never do something as trashy as wear white to someone else's wedding."
Yeah, or laughed it off, or been like, "Wait, what?" Or, "Wait, you're joking, right?" And she'd be like, "Yeah," and then that would be it. Like, I don't.
Totally. I mean, that would have been kind of humorless. I think it was.
Yes, it would be humorless, but like OP's escalation was also humorless and weird.
Absolutely. It was aggressive. Well, it showed, I think you nailed that from the get. You said it shows that she doesn't like mother-in-law. There's like some biffage going on. That's why she made this really hostile joke, because she felt threatened for no reason.
Right.
Because it's obviously a stupid joke. It was a stupid joke. Ragdoll Seeker, ESH. Why is everyone acting like kids? Even preteens facepalm at this level of immature. To recap.
Legit.
Mother-in-law is not planning to wear white. You cannot threaten mother-in-law when she hasn't said a damn thing to you. No, mother-in-law's fiancé should not have added gas to the fire. Any one of you could stop this train work. You could have just said, ha ha, I'm sure mother-in-law will choose a nice dress. Mother-in-law didn't know what to say at this. This is why she tried to laugh to change the topic. She did not decide to wear white. Yeah, that's all true.
Right. And also, I'm going to come for OP again, because to say, like, this mother-in-law has just been, like, the butt of this weird joke, and the OP uninvites her fiance out of nowhere. So now the mother-in-law has to be at this wedding with her ex-husband, who she already feels like the whole family sided with. It's not vain to not want someone on your side there.
Well, who likes to go to a wedding without their partner?
Like, I think that's so rude to be like, oh, that's pretty vain. Like, no, it's not.
No, vain, that's a complete wrong word. I think this OP is really juggling these words around. Anxiety, vain, they got a tenuous grasp on these things. Without lamps, there'd be... Weird. ESH, you threatened to soak your mother-in-law in wine. Fiance said he would soak yours. You're all behaving like preteens. No, I don't think she's an asshole for her comment. I don't think he's an asshole for his comment. I just think it's insane to then just be like, how much hostility is in the air that you really think this? And it really just seems like they don't like mother-in-law, and they almost like didn't want to even invite her. Right.
And like, why? Now I want to know.
I know. I bet there's all kinds of juice in this family. We got to get someone on the inside. MB1428. Normally I go NTA and wedding invite stitches, but here YTA. You started the issue by saying you'd have your bridesmaids dump wine on her. Her husband responded in kind. That you then use that to disinvite him is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's what I think this is made of. I think that OP, there's a thing that can happen, and I think that, look, if everyone's on father-in-law's side, that means that people are talking a lot of shit about mother-in-law and her fiance, right? That's what's going on. And so there's like this part of OP that is like, oh, well, you know, she's a shitty person, or whatever kind of judgmental bullshit is in her head. And that is why she's kind of perceiving things as hostilities that are blatantly not hostile.
Yeah, that's the problem when you just like... when you reach the end of your rope with someone and everything they do is already colored through this lens that you've sort of like predetermined for them, whether or not that's actually the case. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a no-brainer. AITA for uninviting mother-in-law's fiance to my wedding after he threatened to pour wine on me. We agree, YTA.
Yeah, we do.
Beautiful. All right, people, we got a listener submission here. Please rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. We'll read your review on the air. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We're having a great time there. We got the WhatsApp. We got the bi-weekly happy hours. We got the cappuccino, which is the little podcast app. It's very fun, very cool. We will see you on the Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. All right, let's wrap this thing up, folks. Listener submission, AITA for screaming at a girl sleeping in an Uber. I'm walking in the street and see an Uber driver in quite a pickle. A girl has fallen asleep in his Uber, and her driver, or rather meek man, can't figure out what to do. He's slamming the car door saying, hello, over and over at meek man volume. Hello, hello, hello. Nothing is working. I see this. I decide to involve myself. I ask what's going on to make sure I've understood the situation properly. He says he's an Uber driver and motions to the girl. Not seeing any other options, I start screaming at the girl, "This is the police! Exit the vehicle! You're in an Uber! Wake up!" God. She wakes up immediately and looks at me hatefully. I'm wearing a mask with a monkey's mouth on it. I'm about to yell more, and he's like, stop, stop. I walk off. AITA.
Oh my God, this is so funny. I just think it's so funny that you got involved in this random situation.
It's all real, Sarah. I texted you as soon as it happened.
I know, and I
found it amusing. Yeah, that's what inspired me to post it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else I can add. I've heard of this happening. It was kind of cool to see it in a way because I was like, oh, I know people fall asleep in Ubers. But yeah, I feel good about the comments and everything. I feel like I really kind of nailed this one.
This is so funny.
Lulu M wrote ESH, but you're really funny and a needed asshole for this situation. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this guy was in a bind, and I think obviously we both knew like touching her isn't an option. Though I wanted to admit that was my first impulse, and I actually had to subdue that. And I was like, oh,
to tap her or just like that.
Just to kind of like shove her shoulder a little bit and like just like shake her.
I feel like the Uber driver probably thought of that, but that would have been a huge lawsuit.
Absolutely. You don't touch someone. That's very risky.
Definitely not.
Very risky. Sam L, NTA, you're just trying to help. If she's a deep sleeper and was under the influence of drugs, she totally was. It takes shouting to wake someone up. She's definitely just drunk.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is look, screaming can be ugly, but I think screaming is a nice, it's not physical, so you're just being loud, really.
I mean, what do you think that you would have been the asshole for?
I mean, I think it would have been a little bit, I guess, would it be asshole-ish had I instead opted to just kind of like push her shoulder a little bit?
That would have been worse.
I mean, I just
because it's like you're a complete random stranger. You have nothing to do with the situation. Like, don't go assaulting people.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be assault, but yeah, I mean, it could be billed as assault. That's why I wouldn't do it as well.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
be afraid for my own safety.
Yeah, wait, so why are you worried that you're the asshole in this current situation that happened?
No, I don't really think I was. I think I nailed it. But it was aggressive.
You just wanted to brag in the group.
It was aggressive. I mean, I yelled at a girl. I really yelled at her. And I mean, I didn't need to reach for the police.
You did not.
I did not. I could have just said, you're in an Uber, wake up. But
you
could
have probably just yelled like unintelligible gibberish and the loud sound would have woken her up.
You're probably right. But I guess I thought, I didn't really think. I just went right into it. My brain was kind of like, okay, we can't touch her. What can we do? Scream, just scream. And then I just went for it. But like, I felt like police draws you out right away. That's a code red. Your brain's like, wake up. We got to wake up for this. It's the worst people. They're the ones that get really mad. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, Sarah, give me a verdict.
I mean, no assholes here.
So even though I went police, you're still giving me a pass?
Well, was the person white?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. I would not. Wow, that's so funny. I had not thought of that. If there was a black person saying it's a police, you like
I would be like,
the
you're
shit out of
a huge asshole. So,
yeah.
So, no harm done.
Wow.
Except this girl was pissy at you, I guess, right? You said?
She gave me this look, and then I was like, oh, I'm wearing my monkey mask, so I look like an insane
Imagine
person.
you get woken up from a loud scream with a monkey face person.
By a monkey. A monkey that is the cops is yelling at me. What a nightmare.
Probably do a better job.
She's like, I am never drinking again.
Right?
All right, people. We're going to wrap here on Asshole Advocate. Person without headphones in public. So there's a person listening.
Like blasting their music, watching Netflix, having a conversation on the phone, on speaker, any of those variations.
Right.
I mean, their headphones broke. What? You can't expect them to be alone with their thoughts, can you?
There you go. What if they wanted to see the news report? It was one of those funny songs where they make the news headline a song. By the way, they should do that again. But they needed
what are you
to
talking
hear
about?
it. You don't remember that?
Like when they auto-tune the news?
Yeah, auto-tune the news.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
I haven't seen that for years. That's fun.
What about they don't realize that their headphones aren't paired to the phone?
They just don't know. They're like, damn, the audio quality sucks on this.
Yeah, you never know.
What if they're trying to memorize their part in a play, and so they're just listening to themselves say the lines and then reacting in a conversation?
Love that. What if they're having a really interesting convo and they know it's hot goss and they know that you're going to want to listen to it? They're doing you a favor.
They're giving you free juice.
Exactly.
What if they want to piss everyone off, and just be like, hey, maybe today everyone will hate me, but then you'll appreciate the next time you're on the subway and remember how bad it was when it was loud.
What about, oh man, I was thinking of something like that. They're just like an MTA or like a plant for the Amtrak quiet car. What about, like they have nothing to lose. They just don't care if you're mad. They want to get in a fight today.
There we go.
They want you to do something.
What if the only reason they're doing it is because the person next to them is doing it and they're just trying to show them how obnoxious it is?
Yes.
I've actually thought about doing this, but I'm too much of a coward.
I have thought about that too. And yes, I am also way too afraid.
I'm just afraid they'll fight me. I mean, you got to be a little unhinged to just straight up do this for no reason.
You just have to not give a fuck. And I just give too many fucks. Oh, what about if they're just playing a game of dueling pianos in their head? Like they want to assert dominance.
What if they're playing a little lottery game, like a little slots game? You really need to hear the sounds to kind of make that enjoyable.
So true. What if they're on one of those hidden camera shows like Boiling Point where they're trying to be as obnoxious as possible and the last person to break wins $100?
I used to love Boiling Point.
It's a good show.
I feel like we've reached when one of the defensive is basically it's Punk'd or any MTV show. I think that concludes the game.
Fair enough.
Sarah, I thought this was a fire episode. I think you killed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We enjoy you. If you enjoy us, even want more of us, join us on Patreon, guys. It's a lot of fun. I feel confident now. Before I was like, is it a good deal? It is a good deal.
It is a good deal. And we have a good crew. And I don't remember if we said this at the beginning of the episode, but we do have a new patron. Thank you, Han, for joining us. Excited to have you.
Heck yes. We got a great crew. We got, Lindsay and Ellie and De'Erica. We got this great crew. I'm just listing people who are at the happy hour. There are gems and a half. And we're vibing and we're happy houring and it's a good time.
Yes.
So, all right, people. It's P fun. All right, folks. V fun. Did you say V fun or P fun?
I said V.
V
yeah,
fun. It was P fun before. It was P fun before, and then I vowed to make a great deal, and now it is V fun. Some would say, not all, I'll admit, some would say VV fun.
Yes, some might say that.
Not all. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not, but now one person would probably say VVV fun.
Well, at least one person.
I thought Sarah had just left. She's like, I'm out for this bit. All right,
you
guys.
lost me at 2 V's. That's it.
Yeah, enough, Danny. All right, guys. We'll see you next Monday morning.
Bye.